And then we have the Jacksonville Jaguars defeat the San Francisco 49ers 26-21. Brock Purdy for the San Francisco 49ers, he came back a couple games. He came back a couple games, or last game. He was out for a couple games. He played in the first game. He was out a couple games. Matt Jones won him, and then he threw 2 touchdowns, 2 receptions. So the Jacksonville Jaguars come back and win 26-21. It was a good, solid game. But Jacksonville just dominated that second quarter. First quarter was all San Francisco with a 3 field goal. In the second quarter, Jacksonville scored touchdown. It was mainly with the end of the first quarter in the second quarter, and then in the first, and then touchdown in there, and then a field goal late in this half. In the third, Jacksonville got field goal and a touchdown late for a punt return, and then a touchdown in the fourth. And San Francisco did not come back to win it. So looked neither. I mean, a lot of passing for San Francisco. There was a lot more running for Jacksonville. Jacksonville was running the football with Etienne Jr. Lawrence Trevor. He had 174 yards. Was not the best game. Obviously, you can see that this for a quarterback, but still not bad though. Didn't need to force it too much. Did the right plays. So sometimes you don't need the flashy stats to win. You just need to do right. Make the right plays, the right reads, and that's what he did that one. And Purdy, 2 touch. Sometimes you can make the right play, just get tip passes, or like really outstanding like plays by defense. So might not have been on him, but you can still. That did not help though. And the Jacksonville Jaguars go on to or the Santa 49ers. So, and now we have the Los Angeles Rams defeat the Indianapolis Colts 27-20. So the Indianapolis Colts get their first win their first loss of the season. And it was a little struggle for Daniel Jones. He had 2 interceptions. That's what really hurt him in that game. That is what cost him the game. That was what cost him the game. One of those 2 interceptions. Matthew Stafford at 29-41, 306 yards, 3 touchdowns. Looked really solid. If it wasn't for those interceptions, the Indianapolis Colts would have won that football game. So, so, those interceptions are like late in the games, like the last play of the second quarter and the last play of the game. You had it to really far. Okay, sure. But otherwise, that those 2 interceptions did not help at all. Unless it was like really deep throws in like last play of the half, each half. Or maybe it was like tip pass. It would have been if it wasn't tipped, it would have been like a completion. One of those passes. Something that's not like his fault. On Daniel Jones. So we'll see how that goes. I think so. Yeah, struggle a little bit, but you could still say it's a good solid football game. So And then the Los Angeles Raiders fall to Chicago Bears 25-24. The Chicago Bears were 500 on the season. Chicago can't. It was really on Las Vegas. Geno Smith, 14 100 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Gentry, they really had to run the football with him. Because you could see it when he was running the football. He looked good. He just had 21 carries, 303 yards. Did not look solid running with the game. Geno Smith did not. Running over 200 yards of running. Actually, with the running backs had 240 yards of rushing. So, and then I had to really run the football because Geno Smith did pass well, but just 2 touchdowns, but the 3 interceptions in like key spots really hurt. And the Chicago Bears just could not capitalize on those too much. And it probably should have been way more than it was. So in the fourth quarter for the Los Vegas Raiders, the up late really shows, either Chicago Bears team is not that great even, or and the Raiders defense played well in that one. They just give up so many turnovers that it's like, So, yeah. I don't know. Neither team played the best, but Chicago played better than. Chicago did play better than Las Vegas, though. And then the Kansas City Chiefs. They started off the season 0-2. Had that win, not very super convincing against New York Giants, but then against the Ravens. They did not want to go to 1-3 because being 1-3 is just tough. It's just tough being 1-3 against 2-7, 2-2. That's tough. I mean, really, in that second quarter, they played well. Kansas City played well. It was not Lamar Jackson's best game of the season or his career. One of those best games, even best game of the season in the first 4 games. It wasn't even that. And you could 14-20, 1first yards, a touchdown interception. Hill had 3 carries for 76 yards, a touchdown. Right, Hill. Cooper Rush, the backup, was for the Cowboys. And he went to the Ravens, and he had to come in. And that just shows you right there. That is not the best game. That's why But I don't mind. Actually, Cooper Rush is a really good solid backup, though. He is a solid backup quarterback. Like when he was with the Colts, or with not the Colts, the Cowboys. He was with the Cowboys. He actually had some entertaining games with them when they were in primetime games, with him as the backup in. Like last season, this season, I remember him. They still had some national games with him in. And he actually looked like that scene on TV. And he actually, I don't mind. I actually like watching him play. I don't know why. I don't know. I liked watching Dallas better with backups. I don't know why. When Dak Prescott stopped playing, I don't know why. I don't know. Maybe it's just kind of one of those unpredictable games, like it's actually really serviceable. Like he might not be the best quarterback, but like he can make it like things interesting. He can make the games like interesting. Like a game that you might think it might not be, it might be more of a blow. Like can actually make things kind of interesting. So, and yeah, but yeah, Patrick Mahomes played good. Turn series 4 touchdowns, 25-37. And Worthy Kelsey were back on it, so not too bad. And yeah, just neither. It was really the fourth downs being efficient. 4-4 on fourth downs. That's what really helped Kansas City win that one. 4-4 on fourth down. And they looked really well. And just when you can't get any offense going from your star runner, that Derrick Henry, 8 carries for 42 yards. Like either you can't really get much offense going. Had to bring your backup in. And the backup did get some offense in. So that was good. That was a good start for Kansas City, for the Ravens. The Ravens played good, but they didn't play like great though. But the running really hurt them though. Their passing game was not the best, but it was okay. There's their offense. Their running really need to get more going to cover their lack of offense, their lack of run or passing the football. And neither team wins in the Green Bay Packers versus Dallas Cowboys game. It ends up being a 40-40 tie in this one. So the Dallas Cowboys. So it was in that first quarter. Green Bay got off to slow start touchdown. But then Dallas got the slow start. But then Dallas really worked up 16 points in that second quarter. In that fourth late, both teams really got things going. And then in that overtime, Dallas was just trying to not go like, it was kind of like starting over the game from the beginning, and they weren't doing that. After like just back and forth, Dallas got 3, and then you thought, and then Green Bay got some more, but then late in that game, you thought maybe they had 2 shots for the end zone. They were trying to get, but then they had no timeouts, so they were trying to get the play call going, and then get the play going for third, and then see what happens if it's fourth down or the next down, like 2 downs. See, if they can. It depends if they have a time left to kick a field goal out, or like a short time, or like, we'll see, what goes on. What you add, the next couple of plays are depending on the scenario. And yeah, ended up kicking the field goal late. Both teams kicked the field goal in overtime. Both teams got the ball in overtime. Instead of like the rules where it was first team, it used to be first team to score field goal wins, any points wins, and then be first team to score touchdown wins. Or if the first team scores the field goal, then the second team gets the ball back. Their team, But now it's both teams get the ball regardless. And I like that, makes things more interesting. But either way, even with the old rules rules they had beforehand, this would still be considered a tie. So with 10 minute overtimes, the team gets the ball. So yeah, 40 all, and neither team wins. And it doesn't happen all the time, every season, a tie. I thought they might go for it, but then again, they used a bunch of time up on that clock and stuff like that. And they got lucky that it was 1 second left, so they're like, well, where it got lucky, we'll salvage the game. Then we'll end up tie. We'll kick the field goal, salvage a tie at least. We'd rather have a tie than a loss. And you can see right here, both teams played extremely well. There's Pickens, 8 catches, 103 for 2 touchdowns. Prescott, 3 of 40, 308 yards, 3 touchdowns. Jordan, 31, 43, 303 yards, 3 touchdowns. Josh Jacobs, 22 catches, carries, runs, 28 yards, 2 touchdowns. Williams, 85 yards, a touchdown, 28 receptions. Neither team really wins that one. and they had about 150 yards rushing, about over 100 yards rushing for the Cowboys. Tolbert 4 for 16, Rickson 7 for 40, Turpin 3 for 30. So both teams played really well in the Green Bay. Dallas really limited Green Bay to a lot of third downs, 14 third downs on the game. So that was really what Green Bay held their momentum on. Really just getting a lot of third down. That's really what you want. You know, it really just, if you get the third downs, take your most shots. And they saw that right there. And let's see here. You know, it's first quarter, it was at 17-0. And then it ended up being 13-0 on the blocked extra point. And then ended up being an extra point return for the 2-point conversion. That was a Dak Prescott touchdown run. And then ended up being a quick stop. And then 15-yard stop on 3. And then with 3 time. And then George Pickens 15-yard touchdown pass. Dak Prescott. And then Josh Jacobs scored 1-yard touchdown run in the third quarter. Jake Ferguson, your touchdown pass for Dak Prescott in the third. And then late in that fourth, it ended up being a lot of scoring. It was Josh Jacobs 8-yard touchdown run in that fourth. Javonte Williams 1-yard touchdown run. Darren Dobbs 15-yard pass for Jordan Love. George Pickens quick 20-yard pass for Dak Prescott. Brett Mass 37-yard field. And then overtime, Robbie 22-yard field goal. And Brett McManus 34-yard field goal. Ended up being 40 all. If the extra point wasn't blocked, it would have been a tie. It would have been or it would have been so. Because there's no field goals. Actually, no field goals made until overtime. So, yeah. But you can't really complain. So, I guess Green Bay does get the win over Dallas. So, not too shabby. Green Bay ties Dallas. But Green Bay ended up ending with the momentum. Yeah, they could have gone for the win or the touchdown. But maybe since they tried it on the last play, maybe they decided just to go for field goal. End up getting, because we'd rather have a tie than a loss. And at least Dallas kind of feels snubbed maybe without with the tie. Green Bay might feel snubbed, but they're kind of, at least we salvage a tie, at least better than a loss.